Hi, Scott here from SEAT-CUPRA-NET. We are here with the brand new CUPRA Terramar, Cupra's new SUV. This costs £56,915. You're paying a bit extra for this colour, which is dark void. It's a metallic purple. Looks really good in the flesh. Certainly been turning some heads. I brought it down to Cornwall for a test for this weekend, so you may hear some sheep in the background. Apologies for that. They're giving their opinion on the car. And let's get into the design. So the design of the car is by now quite familiar to some of you. If you've seen the new Formentor facelift and Leon facelift, we have this sweeping bonnet here with this kind of indentation here, big Cupra badge at the front, and this is the shark nose design, as Cupra call it, which they debuted on the facelift Leon and Formentor. It is now standard and it looks like a shark's nose, hence the name. Big open grille here with the grey colour offsetting the purple. And we have matrix headlights and the standard triangle design that you see in Cupra now at the front and the back of the lighting to make them really distinctive on the road. We have a fog light here and we have a real vent here that goes through. These ones are fake. And yeah, big open grille at the front and your camera tech and that kind of stuff. So if we take a look at the wheels now, we've got 20-inch wheels. These are called the Hadron design for the VZ First Edition. We've got the copper accents here, matte black, and as I said, 20-inch, but these are reasonably thick tyres because it's an SUV. So the tyres are 255/40 20s, and these are coming with Continental Sport Contact 6, if you want to know, and you're a tyre geek, as I know many of you are. Got the charging point here, being a hybrid car. We've got the silver wing mirrors. The mirrors look fine from the outside. I do have some issues with them in practice with driving, and I'll touch on that when we go out for a drive later in the review. You've got the gloss pillars, you've got the roof bars here in gloss black, and yeah, the side of the profile of the car looks really nice. You've got this indentation here which kind of sweeps back to the car, another one along here, and I mentioned this in the first time I saw it over in Spain. You've got this, it makes it look almost like it's got flared arches by this indentation that goes around the arch here. It makes it look flared out, whereas actually not sticking out any further. Same at the back here, so the side profile actually looks kind of nice sweeping and looks a bit flared. So yeah, I think the side profile looks really quite smart. We have the triangle light design now that we've seen again on the Leon and Formentor. I know I sound like a stuck record. This is the standard design now. I think they look really good. The light bar goes right across. Difference with this one is we have the reversing lights here, and the Cupra logo is illuminated at all times as a LED light, which is really cool. Further down, we've got the Cupra lettering in copper. Now, the colour of the lettering will depend on the colour of the car that you get. It isn't always in copper, because some of the colours, like white, it kind of gets washed out. It seems to be a bit mix and match what you get from the factory. And down here, we have the fake diffuser in the grey again, similar grey that we see on the front of the car. And it goes all the way along here. And we have some fake exhaust design, which I'm surprised is still coming out on these cars, but I think the rear looks good. And it has this clever technology where you wiggle your foot and the boot doesn't open. You just look like oh, there we go. It's very unreliable. If that doesn't work, you don't have any other buttons, so you have to press the button on the key to open it. But if you've successfully opened the boot, let's have a look inside. It's a good sized boot, not massive, but you've obviously got to think about your charging cable, which takes up some space. You have this floor panel which can lift up, and you've got some space in there. If you take a look, there's some space down there, some bits down there. You can extend the boot size, which I'll show you in a second. We'll go around to the side and you can push the rear seats, will slide forward. Yeah, nothing particularly to write home about. The lip is quite high compared to my other half's Volvo. She's got a similar sized boot, but it's a bit lower down. This one feels quite high in comparison. Not the end of the world, but just something to bear in mind. And you have a button to shut the boot. Much more reliable than wiggling your foot like an idiot. So, rear seat bench, nice and comfortable. Before I sit in, I mentioned you can slide the seats. So you have a handle here, and that will then slide forward. You also have this quick release handle here, which makes the seat come further forward and get stuck. You can also do the same with this as well. So you can slide, let me do it for you, do it properly. So you can see here, the seats slide right forward, giving you more space in the boot. Let's have a quick look in the boot to see how much space that gives you. So you can see here with the seats slid forward, You've got more space to push stuff back. Obviously you can drop some things down there as well if you want to. It just gives you a bit more flexibility if you do have some extra space you need to use in the boot. The driving position in front is set for me at 5'10". I'm sat in the back. I've got a good few inches here between my knees and the seat. Now interestingly, the first time I've sat in the back, they've got these indentations here, perfectly shaped to accommodate knees. So they've clearly realised that if the seats were completely flush, that would compromise space. So you've got these grooves to give you just that little bit of extra knee space, which is quite clever. And yeah, I've only just noticed that. Also in here, we've got rear air vents. We've got the copper accents on the slider bit there. And when the car is on, you'll have your controls for the temperature, independent from the front. And with 2 USB-C charging points for people in the back to charge their phones. We've got top tether for ISOFIX. And if we take a quick look here, we've got the ISOFIX points here as well. So I'm going to take you through the dashboard here and the controls. Going to go straight to the center unit here. We have similar as we've seen in the other models. Now this is backlit, these lights, these sliders here, which is really good to see. Still would like physical buttons, but beggars can't be choosers. I'm going to take you straight into the battery mode, as this is a hybrid. I'm sure many of you want to see this. So we have battery manager. We have 2 choices of electric mode and hybrid mode. In electric mode, it will run solely on the battery and the petrol engine will not kick in at all until the battery runs out, obviously. Hybrid mode, it will choose what it thinks is best, whether you use battery or petrol or both, and you can preserve the battery level. So if you want to stop it going below a certain level, you can turn that on and set it to say 50%, do not go below 50%. And it will even stop charging your mobile phone if you've got a phone in the charging mat there. Same with charging, you can set a maximum charge level. By default, it's 80%. They advise that to preserve your battery life. If you keep charging your battery to 100% all the time on these cars, it will not last as long as if you top it up to about 80%. Same with your mobile phones. E-info shows your electric range. Something called energy flow, which shows you the energy flow. I'll let you read the manual if you want to know exactly what that does. Let me know in the comments if you know. And settings, you can change different things here around your battery care mode. Release alternating current cable when charging process ends. You can turn things on and off there. But the battery manager is pretty simple. You also have some information on the main head-up display, on the main virtual dash here about the battery and the range of the battery, which is currently showing 59% and 33 miles. At 80% charge, it was showing about 45 miles of electric range. The rest of the infotainment, I've gone through in a lot of detail on the Formentor. I won't go through it again for you here. I'll make sure there's a link to that review in the notes for this video if you want to check that out. But it's the same, backlit, nice and responsive. I didn't have any issues with it. It hasn't been particularly buggy. Firstly, driving position. Very good. Very familiar. Doesn't feel drastically different to being sat in a Formentor. The layout is the same. We've got some changes around the interior, but not significant enough to feel vastly different. You feel high up enough. It's an SUV. That's what you'd expect. And visibility is generally really good. However, I mentioned earlier in the review, I do have a problem with these mirrors. Now, it must be a design choice, a style choice. But whenever you look at the mirror, you look in the wrong place. The housing of the mirror is massive. It's really, really chunky. And you find yourself looking directly at that where you expect to see the glass, the mirror part. And you have to look there first and then adjust your eyes to the right to look at the actual mirror. It's very weird. I didn't say anything to my partner. She got in the car and noticed exactly the same thing. But having driven a Leon as my daily car and driven Formentor and Born, this mirror decision just is a little bit baffling. It's more like the mirror you'd expect to find in a transit van. The visibility is fine. You can see just as much as you can see in normal mirror placement, but it's just off to the right. And they've given just as much real estate to the actual housing. It looks good from the outside. That's probably why they've done it. But I think it's just compromised a bit on ergonomics for me. I won't go on about it too much because it isn't a deal breaker. I'm not saying don't buy the car because of the weird mirror, but it just took me by surprise when I first got in it. This car has bucket seats. They are not the same bucket seats as you find in the sporty Leon and Formentor. They are more like a sofa. They're very comfortable, very padded, quite springy, and I like them, but having been used to my bucket seats, which are a lot firmer, a lot more grippy, took a while to get used to. But again, this isn't a hot hatch. This is not designed to grip you like that. This is designed to be comfortable, which it is. It's really nice, and like, as I said, sitting on a sofa. As with the other seats that have all the different ranges of adjustability, including lumbar support, height, tilt, distance, etc. It took me a while to get used to that. Lots of adjustment, a few journeys, tweaking and adjusting, but I got there in the end, and you can save them and store them. Visibility is good. You can see the bonnet, which you can see on the Formentor as well. Kind of getting used to that now on these cars. Doesn't get in the way. You've got the head-up display. One note took me by surprise, the head-up display doesn't work very well with polarizing sunglasses, so just be aware. I thought the HUD was on the blink for a minute. Rear view mirror is good. It's nice and thin so that it hasn't got a big chunky border. I like that. And the rear window isn't massive, but you can see plenty out there. And obviously you've got the cameras which help you with parking when you need them. The lane assist is much more aggressive than it is on my Leon and on the Formentor I reviewed recently. I don't know why, but I find myself arguing with the car a lot more about who's actually in control than I do on those other two cars. Maybe the settings just turned up a bit higher, or it's to do with the height of the car, but then the Formentor, I'm not sure, but it's a little bit more annoying on this than it is on the other cars. Of course you can turn it off, not a deal breaker. You can love or hate these driving assist technology that we have. But yeah, it just felt like it was wrestling with me a lot more. Like on roads where I was in a good position on the road. It wasn't as if I was driving too far on one side or the other. So yeah, a little bit too aggressive for me on the lane assist. We took it down to Cornwall for the weekend. It was great on the motorway, a great cruiser. Economy wasn't brilliant, but again, I'll share those details with you. We had a full car, we had a dog in the car, we had a full boot, 2 of us in it. And I was going reasonably quickly on the motorway. We didn't have much crawling for a change. The traffic was actually really good, so we had a good run straight through. Quite a few country lanes as well, A roads and B roads, so a pretty well-rounded journey, to be honest. I was left wanting a little bit in terms of the economy. I've had to fill it up a bit more than I thought I would have, and the battery does drain pretty quickly. But again, I'm going off on a tangent. Read the written review to find out more about that. In terms of the car and the handling, it is not as sporty as the Formentor. I know many of you will be comparing the two. Personally, if you want the sportier car, go for the Formentor. If you need the extra space, go for this one. We're in CUPRA mode. It's an SUV, so you've got that height and you've got that extra weight. Even in CUPRA mode, the steering feels a little bit, well, how can I describe it? A little bit wallowy. Got 20-inch wheels, quite chunky tyres. You can hear that engine kick in as I floor it. It grips well enough. Brakes are good, not amazing. You can get the Akebono brakes on this car, but not in this version, not in the first edition. But again, they're adequate for most people's driving. See, there's that. It's not seamless when the engine kicks in. It's kind of. That's definitely a synthetic sound I'm hearing. Of course, on paper, I thought it would feel faster. I'm also comparing it to my partner's car. She drives a Volvo, I think it's a C60, which is a hybrid. It's not a fair comparison because that's got 350 brake horsepower. But even when the battery is depleted to its lowest level on her car and you put your foot down, the electric motor still just gives you an instant shove. You don't get that on this car. Even in full electric and CUPRA mode, there's just this delay. I'm guessing the motor is just not as powerful. It's not a fair comparison. But This car, I just felt a little bit wanting in terms of that kick in the back, kick in the pants performance, whatever you want to call it. I am biased, I prefer sporty cars. So I'm trying to look at this objectively for people who don't want to hoon around all the time. It is fine for 99% of people. Hopefully you found this video useful. Please let me know in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe and join our ever-growing community on SEAT-CUPRA-NET. We've got Terramar owners, Formentor owners, Leon owners, owners across the range. So be sure to check us out and come and say hi. Until next time, thanks for watching. And we have what's meant to be clever boot technology, because the only way to open the boot is with your foot or the key. Yeah, it's not working. So let me get the key.